Namaste, it's Marcus again. It's been a while since I've done a video on the Bain YouTube channel, and that's because we've been focusing a lot of energy into our rebirth of our website, thebainclan.uk. So have a look at that. It's some interesting stuff, but it won't be taken over totally from this channel because there's other things need to come onto this channel as well, and this is one of them. And I was shown something the other morning in a dream, if you like, and it was essentially to do with our lives, each life we have. And I'm going to call this video, what is your true life's purpose? Now it's interesting because what I was shown basically was a spiral, and each life we live is on a different part of that spiral, up, down, side, back, whatever. And that's because it gives us, or gives our soul, let's just talk about our soul here, it gives our soul a different perspective to see life from each time. So depending on who knows what the dependencies are, man, woman, time, planet, area of the location, you know, all these different things come into play on how your life will live, and how at the end of it, when you pass over, you will take back to the oneness what it is you came to bring back. And that is basically, I never understood it till the other day, totally. It's just another perspective. I used to think years ago that what was happening was that every time you're reborn, you have a mission to become the one pure creative soul who has ticked all the boxes, if you like. But I'm seeing it differently now. It's not something you have to complete. It's something you have to continue until that perfection, if you like, is reached. And will it ever be reached? Who knows? I always say only God is perfect, and that's what it's about. It's about God knowing itself. This is a whole Kabbalistic, from Isaac Lurier's point of view, I think, and from my point of view, totally. It's about the oneness, knowing totally about everything in creation. And, or understanding rather than knowing. And we're used because we as human souls, we as souls are like cells or molecules of the one. Whether you call that one God, Supreme Being, the Infinite Being, the Source, whatever name you have, Allah, whatever name you choose, it doesn't matter. But that oneness of which everything came, that oneness has a composition made up of many things, and one of those things is us, our souls, our cells, molecules of this one being. That's why when we say we are all part of God, we are all part of the oneness, everything we do create is from the source. We see the source in everything, and it's all to do with this. Now that's my view, so people might disagree with that, but that's my view, that we're all cells of the oneness. And as such, as each cell or each soul of that oneness gets more experience or more experiences, its knowledge and understanding grows. And that's just the physics of it, really. And we're not talking about the physical stuff as much as the emotional, higher emotional, spiritual things here, because it's that really that makes a difference. all that happens on the physical is so that we can experience things on those other realms in that way and sort of leave a mark in those dimensions using the physical, because the physical reality gives us such an opportunity to have all these different things, and more importantly, free will to make choices, which we couldn't do if we were other types of being. And so, what is our true life's purpose? Now, I'm reminded that we often think that, oh, my true life's purpose is to be a great healer, which in my case, it's to be a healer. That's what I love. It might be, my true life's purpose is to be the best doctor in the world, is to be the best scientist in the world, to create something in science that is from the old worlds, create something that helps humanity, create something that stops pollution. You know, it could be a load and load of different things that we have in our mind that we think is our true life's purpose. And quite often we get given that as well in that respect when we meditate and focus our spiritual energies on our true life's purpose. We usually come up with something like that is very creative, very helpful to humanity and to Gaia and to the universe and all souls, something of that ilk. But I'm reminded by something which I feel is very true, and that is something that Edgar Cayce wrote in his, I don't say memoirs, but in his notes of giving people regressing, right? So what Edgar Cayce did on regression was quite amazing. He would take people and there's loads of stuff on the internet, you can find it, and on the on his society that's still going. You can find out about this. Absolutely amazing what he's done, what he does in the world today even. And all that stuff is very interesting. And the one thing I noticed more than anything reading those notes about these past regressions that people had is something I've often said, and it's very, very true in my mind. And that is, when people are regressed, or before they're regressed, they're thinking, oh, I think I was Cleopatra, or I think I was Mark Antony, or I think I was a great emperor, or Kublai Khan, or a great something or other, or, you know, the great priest who looked after Aton, or I think I was this, or I think I was that. I mean, some people are those beings, or were those beings, obviously. The majority of people who had regression with Edgar Cayce anyway, and remember something, remember from a life something that seems very trivial. They were, you know, an innkeeper, or a shepherd, or you know, even a prostitute, or a street cleaner, or a gangster, or whatever it might have been in their life. And what they actually remember in the regression is often something very little. And you think, well, why would you remember that? And the reason people remember these things when they have this regression, in my view, is because this was a turning point in their life. This realization or thought or action changed their whole view on life and death, or just life, and so had a big impact on their life's end when they went back to the Creator, the Source, and took back what they took. And it's hard to understand this the way I'm explaining it, because I understand what I'm talking about. You're probably thinking, what the heck's he talking about? But have a think about it. And these things are quite often very trivial things, and that could be our true life's purpose, what we might look at as a very trivial thing to do, a very little thing to do, but it might be something that makes you as a soul more complete, what I've realised is this rebirth on this spiral is that it gives us a totally different vista of life, a different view of life. It could be a very similar life to the life you'd had before, but you now see it from a different view. The first time round, you might have been very negative, you might have been very horrible to people, you might have been very uncaring, and because of that, and we talk about karma and things like that that come into play, which obviously is a subject on its own, because of those things, then obviously they have a big impact on our next life or future lives. And so another time he comes in or she comes into life, they're nice, they will love everybody, they want to help everybody, they want to help the world, they want to do good, they want to be philanthropists, you know, all these different changes. And that's because you've had one viewpoint and you've been given another viewpoint so that you could see the difference and make the changes you need to make you as a soul more complete. Now, we have to understand that I'm using words here that we do our best using words to explain or try and think of something that is really unthinkable. And, you know, you could turn around and say, that's a load of rubbish, I don't believe that, and that's fine. But have a think about it. That's all I'm asking you to do, is have a think about these things and see if any of it makes any sense to you. If it doesn't resonate, then just don't watch it anymore. Look for something else that does resonate with you, because you have to find things that your soul at this life needs to have information on and understanding of, and that's what's important. So each person's true life purpose may not be as big as you may think. It might be a very small thing that you need to do in this lifetime to help your soul become complete. Yeah. So I teach Tai Chi, and in my Tai Chi classes I'll often say to people, you always stand in the same position in the class, but this time I want you to move to a new position. Why? I don't want to move, I love it here. I know, but you'll see everything different. Oh no, no, it won't. So as soon as they change position, and after the class or wherever, they say, oh, you were right. I've seen so many things I couldn't see before in that other position. And that's because their perspective of what they're looking at is changed. You're looking at it from the left instead of the right. You're looking at it from further behind. You're looking at it from further in front. Your whole view has changed. And this is what each life is like for us. And that's why we're given a different perspective often. Now, this doesn't mean that we're not given things to master. There's people like myself who have had many, many spiritual evolved lives. There's people who have become master musicians over many, many lifetimes, who have been great composers and are still great composers. People who have been great scientists and are becoming even greater scientists today. And this is often the case as souls get more and more knowledge of their chosen goal, or in their case, their true life's purpose. And that's often the case for us as well. But our true life's purpose is the bigger picture. And the smaller picture, our true life's purpose, might not be as grand and as massive as you think. It might be a very little thing in this life that you do. For instance, that changes a person's life. And that person whose life you've changed goes on to change the lives of hundreds of thousands or millions of other people. Because of one thing you've said, one thing you've done. That is often the case. We might not even know it afterwards. So all we can do is do our best. Live a good life, try to not hurt anybody, try and be good. Sometimes we fall foul and we don't always do the right thing, or even though we know we should. But hopefully we always learn from it and don't make the same mistake again. That's all we can ask. So, do your best. That's all we can do. Anyway, I hope this makes sense to some of you. And I think that's it for today. I think I've said enough. So until next time, we'll see you then. Namaste. Have a good week. We're in very trying times at the moment, so make the most of what you can. Try and keep a stiff upper lip, as we say in England. Try and keep positive. Try and keep in your heart as much as possible. Try not to listen to too much negativity, because we want to put light into the world, not get drawn down by the darkness. You know, I know it's handy to know what's going on, but if it starts affecting you in a way of making you down and depressed, you got to stop looking at it, really. Just give light out. That's the best thing you can do in these moments in time. We're very well looked after by those beings of light and love who look after us each and every day. And they won't let anything too bad happen to us. We'll continue to reach our goal, which is what we're doing. See you next time.